Howdy all, lovely to see you all again. I am back from the hospital. My son Alexi Zoupa is doing very, very well. Cute little bubbums with nice little dimples. Anyway, I've been meaning to do this for so long. I wanted to remake Tornado of Souls because I can play it way better now. We're going to include tabs, it's going to be in sexy HD, and it's going to be a hell of a lot more accurate. So, let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I want to start off with an outsidey bend idea with a pre-bend from 3rd fret of the 3rd string. I'm going to go in and out very quickly and then a slow bend up. Okay, after that I want to play 4-6, still on the 3rd string. And then what I'm going to do here is a grace note slide from 9 to 7 and then hammer back to 9. Okay, so from the start. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 9 to 11 and then hit 11 2 more times when I get there. So I slide in, 1, 2, and then I pull off to the 9. I'm going to hit 9 again and then slide to 7. And that's the whole first chunk. So let's take it relatively slowly. Okay, then after that I work into this phrase. Let's take that a little bit slower. I'm doing an outside bend in and out, very similarly phrased to what we had on 3rd fret, from 8th of the 3rd string. So very similar, and then I work into this phrase. That's just working around the B minor pentatonic, so I'm hammering 7-9 on the 3rd, and then I'm going to play 10-7 on the 2nd, and then I want to play 9-7 on the 3rd again. So it goes. So it's going forwards on the 1st, 7-9 is a hammer, 10-7, 9-7, and then I want to play 6-7 there. So we're going outside of the pentatonic. At the end of that, I'm jumping to 9 of the 4th. At the end of that, okay, hammer on from 6 to 7 on the 3rd string, and then I want to play 6 again and give it some sexy vibrato. You'll notice that my elbow shoots out quite a bit when I'm doing these pointer finger vibratos. Notice Marty kind of does a similar thing as well. Okay, at the end of that, we work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to hit 6 twice on the 3rd string, hammer on into a pull-off, and then I want to go down the pentatonic now. I'm going to play 9-7 on the 4th, and then I want to jump to 9 of the 5th. At the end of that, I'm playing 7-9 on the 4th and jumping to 9 of the 5th. So altogether that last group, and that leads into the next chunk. So let's go from that 8 bend from the outside in, work through that chunk, and then we'll take the whole thing from the start and then again with some tabs. Alright, let's go right back to the start of the section now. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the second section. I want to start off from 9 of the 5th. I'm going to play 9-10. And then I'm going going to play 9, 11, 12 on the 4th string, but I'm going to do a hammer from 11 to 12. Okay, then I work into this phrase. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I'm playing 11 of the 3rd, and then I'm going 12, 14, 12, and then a dead note. And that was on the 2nd string. Okay, so all together. Now the reason why I do a dead note is so I've got that extra little rhythm in there, and then I can do a position shift. You notice that I'm doing 14, 12 there, but I'm changing to the ring and the pointer. At the end of that, let's slow that down. I'm doing a bend from 14 of the 2nd string, then I want to bend it down, and then I play 12, and then I'm going to slide backwards, so like a cheeky grace note from 14 to 12 into a bend. So all together, really sexy phrasing there, and then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here, I play 12 twice on the 2nd string and hammer to 14, and then I go 1, 2, 3 on 12 of the 3rd. Let's have a look at what we've got thus far, and then we'll add the 2nd chunk to it. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. Alright, let's slow that down. I'm going to do a hammer on from 14 to 15 on the 1st string. Then I'm going to play 14 again, and then 10, 14. And I've got a quick hammer on pull off from 10 to 14. Okay, then from there, I'm playing 14 of the 2nd, back to 10 of the 1st, and 14 of the 2nd. So all together. Okay, at the end of that, we'll slow that down. I'm playing 12 of the 2nd, and then 11 of the 3rd. And then I'm going to play 9, 11, 9. Then I play 7. At the end of that, I've got a quick bend on 9 of the 3rd, and then a slide from 7 to 6. At the end of that, to finish off the bar, I'm just going to add in that slide to 14 on the 1st string, because there's a bit of an offbeat entry before the start of the next section. So we're going to put that in there just so that we're ready for section 3. So let's take it from the start of this section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the 3rd section. This is quite a doozy. I want to start from 14 of the 1st string. Then I'm going to play 10, 14, 10 as a hammer on pull off. Then from there I work into this. What I'm doing there is I'm playing 14, 12 on the 2nd, jumping to 11 of the 3rd. And then from there, kind of reversing my steps. It's playing 12, 14 of the 2nd, and jumping to 10 of the 1st string. That's all sort of around a B minor idea. And that's sort of a continuation of a different sort of inversion of that B minor arpeggio. I'm sliding from 14 to 19 here on the 1st string, then pulling off back to the 14, and then I'm going to play 15, 14 on the 2nd string, then jump to 16 of the 3rd, and then kind of reverse my steps from there. So I'm going to play 14, 15 on the 2nd, back to 14 of the 1st string, and that's the first kind of arpeggio we'll deal with in this section. All together from the start. Okay, the next thing I'm going to deal with is a bit of an E minor idea. Let's slow that down. I want to start from 19 of the 1st string. I'm going to play that, and then 15, 19, 15 is a hammer on pull off. Then I'm going to play 17 of the 2nd, 16 of the 3rd, and 17 of the 4th. Straight arpeggio shape. And then from there, I'm just going to sort of sweep back up the way that I came. So I'm going to play 16 of the 3rd, 17 of the 2nd, and then 15, 19 on the 1st. At the end of that, 20 bend, And then I'm doing a pull off from 19 to 18 and then playing 19 again. So that 18 is a bit gross, but does add some outside flavor. All right, one more time, nice and slow. Hopefully that's making sense. The third arpeggio we're going to deal with here is an E major idea. Let's slow that down. I'm going to start from 19 of the first string. I'm going to do a hammer-on pull-off from 16 after that. Then I work up the arpeggio. I'm going to play 17 of the second and slide from 16 to 13 of the third. At the end of that, going to 14 of the fourth. At the end of that, this is quite delicious. I'm going to do 13 to 16 as a hammer-on the third string. Then I have a string skip going 12, 16, 12 on the first. At the end of that, 16, 13 of the third, and then I want to jump to 14 of the fourth. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 13 to 9. You can add a bit of sexy vibrato once you get there if you want to. Let's go from the start of the E major idea. We'll finish off the section and put all of the chunks together. Okay, then I have 2 leading notes from 11 of the third string. And then I want to play 4 there, 4 12s, then 4 15s. So I got 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Then I play 7th fret 3 times. And then I want to hit it a 4th time. Then slide from 7 to 9. And then slide back to that 6th fret. At the end of that, we've got an offbeat note at the end of that bar that will lead us into group 4. And that's the whole section. Let's take it from the B minor at the start and do the whole thing relatively slowly, and then we can do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. All right, let's have a look at the 4th section, sort of dancing around a B minor pentatonic here. I want to start from 7 of the 3rd string. I'm building up a sort of arpeggio there by playing 9 of the 4th and 9 of the 5th. Okay, then we're working to this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to play 9 of the 4th, then 7, 9 of the 3rd, and then add a bend. Hitting that 9 again, and then playing the 7. So all together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. What I'm doing here is playing 9 of the 4th, 7 of the 3rd, and then 2 9s on the 4th. So all together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm playing 9 of the 4th again. I go from 9 of the 4th to 7 of the 3rd, and then 9 of the 4th again, and then 9 of the 3rd. So I'm kind of pedaling off that 9 note there. After I've done the flat finger, I do a pull off. At the end of that, I'll slow that down. I'm playing 9 7 twice on the 4th string. I think I might pull off the second one. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 9 to 7 on the 5th. So let's go from the start of that group now. Let's take it from the start of that group now. I think I am picking both of those. Anyway, after that we work into this sort of diminished dominant 7th vibe. This is actually more complicated on the right hand to figure out where the picking is going with little sweeps and little alternate picks and that kind of thing. So I'll show you what I do, and when we do the tabs later, that will also have the picking directions. I want to start from 9 of the 5th with my middle finger, and I'm doing a down pick for that. Then I'm back picking my hammer on from 8 to 11. From there, the same fingering pretty much. I'm playing 9 of the 3rd string with my middle and then hammering 8, 11 on the 2nd string. But that's swept. So I'm going to go forward, back pick, sweep, cheeky economy. Then from there, I'm going to slide from 11 to 14 and pull off back to the 11 again. Sort of go. That's all in one go. From there, I sweep straight up for the rest of this arpeggio. So after I've done my pull off to 11, I'm going to play 12 of the 3rd and then pull off 14 to 11 on the 4th and then play 13 of the 5th. And from that pull off, that was all upstroke. You just got to wait a little bit for that pull off to finish. So if we go too fast, you'll miss the pull off and you'll sort of be out of sync. So let's have a look at that again a bit slower. Okay, let's have a look at the next group now. This is pretty much exactly the same phrasing that I had over here. I want to play 12 of the 5th as a downstroke. Back picking 11, 14 as a hammer on the 4th. And then I've got my mini sweep here. What I'm doing is I'm playing 12 of the 3rd and then sweeping through to 10, 14 on the 2nd string. All together. Okay, at the end of that, I'm going to slide from 14 to 17. And then I pull off to 10. Okay, then at the end of that, let's have a look at that last little chunk. I'm going to play 12 of the 3rd again, and then 10, and then a pull off from 14. At the end of that, 12 of the 3rd, and then 10 of the 2nd again. So let's go from this A dominant 7 arpeggio one more time. Let's go back a little bit now to the arpeggio before. We'll do it really slowly and concentrate on the picking direction and where the sweeps fall. All right, let's go right back to the start of the section and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, there's a lot of notes in section 5, but the concept's actually quite simple. I want to start off with this phrase. And that's going to sort of, that kind of vibe and timing is going to be very similar all the way through. I've got to pull off from 14 to 10 of the 1st string, then I jump to 12 of the 2nd string and 10 of the 1st. And I do that exact same phrase again, but I'm going to start off with the double pull off. So we've got, and then I do that double pull off again. So I'm going to go single pull off, double, double. Okay, then I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is a pull off from 15 to 10 of the 1st, jumping to 12 of the 2nd, back to 10. Then I do 1 from 14, and then I do 15 again, and then 14 again. So there is no doubles in the second half of that group. Let's go from the start. Very similar idea now. I'm going to do a pull off from 15 to 10. And then I'm going to do the single, then 2 doubles. Now what's tricky here is I'm going to do a pull off from 17 to 10 and jump to 12. And then 15 to 10 and jump to 12. And we're going to do one of each of those twice. So all together. It's a pretty damn big reach. I've seen a couple of dudes do this live and they do cheat and they do this. Even sometimes Marty does, but on the record, there's definitely that hilarious stretch. This is what we should have from the start. The third group is going to be very, very similar, but I'm going to go from 16 to 10 on the 1st string and jump to 12 of the 2nd. I'm going to do a single and 2 doubles on the pull-off. Then from there, I'm going to play 17 and then 16, 17, 16 for those last groups. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work into this phrase. So almost the same thing twice here as far as the timing goes. I've got to pull off from 18 to 14 of the first, and then I jump to 14 of the second string, and then I go back down to 14 of the first. I'm going to do the single pull off and then 2 doubles again. And then the last bit is nearly the same thing, but we're going to end a little bit early. Instead of jumping up a string there, I do the double pull off, then end on a big sexy bend on 17. That will lead us into group 6, which is the final section. Getting a little tongue-tied. Anyway, let's try the whole thing from the start, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. All right, last section, guys. This is a massive doozy, so be super patient with it. Let's slide into 16 of the third string. Then I've got to pull off from 17 to 15. And then I work into this. I've got a double pull off from 19 to 15 on the second. Then I pull off 18 to 16 on the third. So all together, at the end of that, I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got to hammer on from 16 to 19 on the third. Then I roll into a flat finger and I play 19 to 15 as the pull off on the second. And then I work into this. Let's slow that down. 17 of the first, 19 of the second. And then I do a pull off from 21 to 17 on the first string and then jump to 19 of the second. So all together now from the start. Okay, then we work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. What I've got here is 19 to 22 as a hammer on the second string. And then I'm going to play 19, 24, back to 19 again on the first as a hammer on pull off. So I think I'm picking that 19 and then picking the 24 and pulling off. Then from there, let's slow that down. I'm playing 22 of the second, 19 of the first. Then I pull off 22 to 19 on the second string, and then play 22 of the first string. All together from the start now. Okay, then from there, I want to work into this little sliding phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to slide from 19 to 18, then hammer back to 19, and then I flatten, then play 19 to the first string. That's going to be a very similar idea. The next one's going to slide from 17 to 15, hammer back to 17, and then flatten to 17 of the first. So back to back. And if you want to, you can do mini economy picks here. Okay, the next one, I slide from 15 to 14 on the second, hammer back to 15, and then a flat. Then a similar idea now, 14 to 12, hammer back in, and then a flat. And then the last one, I'm going to slide from 12 to 10, hammer to 12, and then pull off to 10 again. So all together, hopefully that's making sense. Then from there, I slide into 8, and it goes 8 to 10, and then I pull off, and then I slide to 7. Then from 7, I want to hammer to 8 and pull off. Then I want to hammer to 10 and pull off, and then hammer to 8 and pull off again. So we're going so hammer into a slide, 7, 8, 7, 10, 7, 8, 7. At the end of that, working down that blues pentatonic, I'm playing 10 of the third, 7 of the second, and then pulling off 10 to 7 on the third string. At the end of that, nice and bluesy. So I'm doing a bend on 9 of the third string, jumping to 7 of the first, and then pulling off 10, 7 on the second, and then a big bend on 10. Then we've got that cheeky exotic run at the end. But anyway, from the start of this, let's go right back to the start of the section, have a look at what we've got, and then we'll look at the last little exotic run. Hopefully that's making sense so far. Okay, and we're working to this last phrase. It's pretty fun. It's a little bit strange and chromatic-y at times, but it does sound pretty cool. Let's take our time with it. I want to play 4, 6, 7 on the third. So there's 3 notes there, and then I've got 5 on the second. I'm going to play 5, 6, 5, 4, 5. It's a little bit chromatic. So all together. And then I work into this phrase. This is very strange. I'm going to play 7, 9, 10, 7 on the third. And then I go back to the 7 again. At the end of that, I'm going to play 8, 7, 6, 7. So from the first chunk into the second. Okay, now the last group. Let's slow that down. I'm going to play 11, 12, 14, and then back to 11 of the third string. And then I've got 2 groups of 4. What I'm doing here is I'm playing 12, 11, 10, 11, 2 times in a row. So we've got, at the end of that, I've got 3 notes going 12, 11, 12. So we've got a little bit slower. And that's the whole section. It is quite cray-cray. Let's take it from the start relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was my remake of Tornado of Souls. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And check the description box for links to my Facebook page and my Patreon account. Take care, guys.